Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to this edition of New Distributor Training on Saturday morning for Zija International. My name's Fred Holmes. I'm an independent distributor with Zija, and it's my privilege to be the trainer today, and I'm pretty excited about what we're going to be doing. So first things first, welcome to all of you. I'm looking at the list of attendees, and I'm seeing a number of our established distributors, several of our brand new distributors, so special welcome to the new folks. And there's a number of people I don't recognize, and in case you've been invited as a guest, I want you to feel welcome as well. That's not uncommon. Oftentimes people are looking at the Zija income opportunity and wondering what kind of resources are available to us. Are we going to be able to have the support necessary to create success in the business we'd like to pursue? And I think if you ask yourself your question, why would somebody like the person that invited you to do this, why would they be asking me to be here? And it's not uncommon for people to think, well, because the person that asked me to be part of this training, part of this company, wants me to help them make money. Well, and that's certainly part of the process. But the most important, concept, the most important philosophy of success in the network marketing profession is an understanding that for those of us that help the most number of people create success in their life, whatever that success is, maybe it's more income, maybe it's more free time, maybe it's more fun or meaning in your life, we receive the benefits of that. But really identify what the locus of focus is. Locus of focus? Well, that just came out weird. What our locus of attention is, okay? If you help enough people get everything they want, then you can get everything you want. And I'm not saying that in the very beginning, 34 years ago now, I think, that I left my previous career as a truck driver to get involved in this profession. I'm going to tell you, when I first got involved, I needed to make money for me. That was my, white hot burning desire to create a substantial income so I could provide for my special needs son and have the time freedom to be with him. But I learned very quickly the secret to success in this business is to care more about your customers getting great results on the products than you care about the money you made selling them the product. Care more about your new distributor's paycheck than you care about your own. And when you get that philosophy straight, when you get that part down, then the money will track you down like a bloodhound. You cannot escape it. But it's one of those things that you just gotta buy the story. Care more about your customers' results, care more about your distributor's success than you care about your own, and you will find incredible success. So welcome to each and every one of you and our invited guests. Stick around, get the training. The person that asked you to be part of this today, they'll show you how to implement what we're talking about today. So a couple things real quick. What we're going to talk about today is the 90-day game plan, and I'm going to make a prediction right now. The next 90 days for each one of you will be the most important 90 days in your entire Zija career if you implement the things that I'm going to talk about. The most important 90 days of your entire Zija career, whether you're with us for a year, 5 years, 10 years or more like I have been. This next 90 days will be the most important 90 days in my Zija career, and that's got to be a significant statement that you need to pay attention to, because I've been around for a long time, and I've been I've been very blessed in this. I was going to say very successful. Yeah, I've been very successful, but it certainly isn't have a lot to do with me. I've been very blessed financially with the Zija opportunity. And so what I do want to do, especially for those of you that are just getting started, if you're just now entering, maybe you've never been involved in network marketing before, and you're just getting started with Zija. Or maybe you've been involved in network marketing. We find people have been involved in a dozen different companies, but never saw the kinds of success that they were looking for. I want to direct you to some training that you're going to want to get underneath your belt right away. Okay, make this kind of the foundation. I want you to go to my YouTube channel. I'm going to put it in the chat box. Right now, let's see. Let's do this to all attendees. Once you go to my YouTube channel, it's www.youtube.com/Fred Holmes Zija. Go to that YouTube channel, all right, and subscribe, put on the little bell so you can notice whenever I post a new video and that sort of thing. You're going to see there archived all of the presentations and trainings that we've done for quite some time. So our Thursday night business presentations. I encourage you to go through those, because those are excellent tools for first, second, third exposure to people that are looking at the business. You're going to hear overview of the company, the story, the product story, the opportunity. But in particular, you're going to hear the stories of individuals from different walks of life, different motivations to get involved, and what they have done to create success in Zija. Excellent tools. You're going to find archived previous Saturday morning new distributor trainings, from myself, members of the training team, people that have already created a lot of success. They do some of these Saturday morning trainings as well, because I know you guys get bored of watching me. But in particular, I want you to look at the playlist tab on that YouTube channel. The playlist tab has 4 little videos in there. The very first one is called New Distributor Training. And that's really what I want you to take a look at, okay? It is a compilation of everything that I've learned about getting started in a network marketing business. And I've got, 34 years, in directly or around this profession. And so in 30 minutes with that video, you will learn the 2 most important things that you'll need to know to build your career in this profession. What do we do and how do we do it? Okay. And I'm a firm believer, if you're the right person, if you are committed to creating the life that you desire for yourself and your loved ones, the financial resources, the ability to have time freedom, flexibility in your day-to-day schedule, so that your work is not the most important thing in your life. Your family, the things that you believe in, the things that matter to you, they become the most important things, because you have that luxury of time freedom. Or something as simple as being able to feel like you're making a real contribution, having fun in your life. Everybody out there wants more money, more free time, and more fun, okay? And if you're that person, that 30-minute training will give you the resources that you need to succeed. What do we do? Defines exactly what it is we do, and then exactly how we do it. You'll see 3 more little 10-minute videos, so about another 30 minutes, if you will, if you wanted to complete training. Those 3 additional short training videos, I would call those, if you were to compile them together, I'd call that the fast start training. How to create a prospect list. Something beyond just, think of your friends and family, okay? Obviously, people can think of, half a dozen, 10 people off the top of their head. But if you listen to that little 10-minute video, use the tool, the memory jogger, the average person with a little bit of time invested will come up with, 80, 140, 200, 300 contacts that you already have relationships with. So learn how to create a prospect list the way the professionals do it. Second video is how to develop your story. Your personal story in Zija will become your #1 tool. Okay, this was something I understood, almost 12 years ago now when I joined Zija. I knew already, because Zija is my 3rd successful network marketing venture, already understood how important that was. And so I created a really spectacular story I'm not bragging, I'm just saying it is. It's a spectacular, fast start story, because I understood how important it was to have that story, not just for me, but for the development of my organization, so that they could have a success story to share with others as they were building their own. The final video is called the 90-day game plan, and we're going to be talking about that today. The 90-day game plan, this is something that's been part of the profession for decades. And if you can master this, if you can actually understand the concepts and implement the action items of a 90-day game plan, you can rise to the top. Okay, I'm an example of that. I'm going to tell you right now, there's nothing particularly special about me other than I've been around a long time. Okay, I've done this a lot, but I learned the little tricks, if you want to call them, on how to create success. And and today, the results speak for themselves. Both in terms of finances, flexibility in my day-to-day schedule, time freedom, and the ability to commit to the things that are the most important to me, which is my family. And so encourage you to get that stuff underneath your belt. Now, when you've done that, and take time to do it again, I'm going to tell you right now, not that I'm saying that those training tapes or, videos I've done are particularly special. They're not high quality, nothing fancy about them or anything. It's the content, the information that you want to focus on. Now, I encourage you to watch them multiple times. I guarantee you will be on your second, third, or fourth go around with those videos, and you'll be picking up something you missed the first, second, or third time. So invest some time in your personal development, your skill sets development, your knowledge, because in my mind, and I'm not saying there's anything wrong with this. Okay, we have a lot of people that come into Zija for no other reason to simply make a little of extra money to be able to increase the amount of products that they and their family can use, get their product paid for, make a little extra income, use some more of the company's products. That's great. That's the backbone of our Zija business. We've got people that come in simply to make a little supplemental income, that extra $200 or $300 a week that would, for most people, an extra $1,000 a month would change the lives of the vast majority of people in the world. Okay, in the Western world, $1,000 a month could change, make people rich in third world country. But I'm talking about, in the average Western world economy, $1,000. What would an extra $1,000 a month meant to you and your family last year? What would it be like to get an extra, $12,000 or $15,000 a year raise from your job? That's powerful. But here's my mindset. Why, if you could create, an astounding level of income, to create a six-figure income or a multiple six-figure income, and to help many others do the same thing. If you could do that, why wouldn't you do that? From my perspective, why wouldn't you want to get rich? People, oh, I don't want, money, it changes you. No, money does not change you. Get that out of your head right now. There's so many people that use that excuse for why they do not pursue something aggressively that can change their life, because I don't want to be, one of those rich people. Okay, this is real simple. It's all about you. Okay, having a lot of money does not change you. It makes you more of what you already are. So if you're already a kind, generous, giving, loving person, having a lot of money just enables you to be more kind, more generous, more giving, more loving. Okay, if you're a horse's behind already, more money is just going to make you a bigger one. So it has nothing to do with the money. It has everything to do with you. And from my frame of reference, if you could do something of significance, why wouldn't you do it? Okay, so let's talk about our topic of today. I'm going to kind of breeze through this because I would like to have the opportunity to spend some time, fielding questions that you might have to kind of make this all come together. But we're going to focus on this, okay? a 90-day game plan that can allow you to finish 2019 strong. And we're going to talk about the three components. Okay, number one, we're going to talk about what is the 90-day game plan. Number two, we're going to talk about why the 90-day game plan is significant. And most importantly, number three, how. So we've got what, why, and how to implement this. So first, let's talk about what a 90-day game plan is. And folks, as you have questions or whatever, either jot them down in your notes, and when I open up for questions, you can give them to me, put them into the chat box there. For those of you on your mobile device, tap the screen, you'll see the little chat bubble come up, and you can see the comments others are making. AJ, make a note that you want to, if you're putting stuff in there for just me, do it to the panelists. If you're doing it for me and everybody else, make sure you've toggled panelists and attendees, because they can't see what you're writing. I'm the only one that can see what you're writing right now. So let's talk about what a 90-day game plan is. And you may want to put this in your notes. A 90-day game plan is simply a one-day game plan times 90 days. Okay, that's all it is. Nothing magical about it. We talk about a 90-day game plan simply because that's an amount of time that's a little bit easier for us to focus, to maintain or retain focus for a period of time. I tell everybody, you need to look at this opportunity with Zija as being a 3 to 5 year game plan, 3 to 5 year retirement plan, if you want. That's what I did. I invested 3 years in Zija, created an income that, put me in the top 1% of earners in the entire country in 36 months. And it has grown dramatically since then. Okay, now, 3 to 5 years, that's a long time. Okay, that's a long time to retain a single, focus in your life. It's easier if you break, the 3 to 5 years down into 1 year time frames. Take those 1 year time frames, break them down into quarters, first quarter of the year, second quarter of the year, and so on. And take that 90-day game plan, and we're going to break it down into 3 30-day game plans. And each step along the way is really nothing more than a one-day game plan times 90 days. Now, the reason why we talk about the 90-day game plan, and this is something, 90-day game plan, I was taught this back in the mid-'80s when I first entered network marketing. I mean, the concept's been around a long, long time. The biggest reason for that is it takes 90 days to establish momentum in your business. Okay, when the business starts to develop some momentum, that's when first of all, that's when it gets a lot of fun. Okay, it's a lot of fun when you've got things moving forward and rolling and so on. That traction that you will receive from that 90 days of consistent activity will carry you for a prolonged period of time in your business. Make no mistake about it. Things are going to happen in your life. Okay, they just are. Okay, nothing stays the same. And for me, 2.5, almost 3 years ago, had a major disruption in my life. It revolved around my mom. For those of you relatively new, just nickel version, part of my Zija business has been that I created this business working part-time from home at a time that I had made a decision to move back to the family home and care for my mother. I was, single. I was already retired. Both of my sons were on their own. It was, first of all, I could, and secondly, it was the right time to come home and care for mom. And then, almost 3 years ago, 2.5 years ago, we had a major problem. And for the last 2.5 years, mom has required, attention 24/7. The Zija business empowered me to be able to have that time frame where there was literally about 6 months that I, for the most part, just checked out of ZJ. Yet my income continued to go. Every single week, the paychecks were coming in, big paychecks. And it empowered me to be able to stop my focus on things that were not of interest to me or importance to me, and put my focus on my mother. Okay, so be aware that, you know, there's a reason why you want to create momentum. You want to create the momentum in the beginning. It will serve you well as time goes on. So the 90-day game plan is nothing more than a one-day game plan times 90. Now, what's the one-day game plan? You're going to get for those of you that watched that that first video on my playlist, the new distributor training, you already got this. We want to do the things that we do. Okay, we share our products. That's the first thing we do. Number two, we share our income opportunity. And then number three, we teach others to do the same. And I don't care what level of time is available to you, regardless of your circumstances, regardless of your time availability. Everybody can do this. Okay, somewhere, somehow, some way, within a 24-hour block of time, everybody can find 15 minutes here and 15 minutes there and 15 minutes here, 45 minutes, an hour. Everybody can find that. Well, I don't have a full hour. That's okay. How about 15 minutes? How about 20 minutes? You know, you might have to give up watching Survivor. Okay, is that still on? I don't even know. Okay, my level of watching TV is so low, and there's only one purpose for watching TV. It's to be sitting with mom and engaged in something together. That's the only reason I watch TV. Otherwise, there wouldn't be a purpose for that. You know, TV is chewing gum for the brain. Write that in your notes. TV is chewing gum for the brain. It doesn't do anything other than occupy it. Okay, and it's totally non-productive time. You might have to give up, you know, something, whatever it is. But I'm simply talking, you know, 1 hour a day, 15 minutes here, 20 minutes there, 15 minutes here. Everybody can find that if you want it bad enough. Now, what are you going to do during those little blocks of time? Share our product. Reach out to somebody and offer them a solution to a problem they have through our products. Okay. Second thing you're going to do, reach out to somebody and offer them a solution to financial issues through our income opportunity. And then number three, teach somebody how to do that. Now, for those of you that are saying, you know, well, I'm really brand new. I really don't know how to do this. How can I teach somebody? Okay, first of all, you got to have somebody. That's why you share the product, share the opportunity. Once you have somebody, you don't have to be the trainer. It could be something as simple as, hey, write this down. Here's the link to the new distributor training by, you know, one of the top earners in the company, a personal friend of mine. Okay, do you guys like me? Because I like you. Now we're friends. Now you can say, my personal friend, right? You can direct people to training. But that's all we do. We share the products, we share the opportunity, we teach others to do the same. Now, there's a couple other things we do. We invest in time in personal development, skill set development. We promote the impending events. There's some periphery things, but those three items are the core ingredients to success in our business. Now, one day at a time. And here's what's really important is when you set your goals, make them sustainable. Don't try to prospect 20 people on the product and 20 people on the opportunity every day. Okay, I'm not saying don't do that. You know, there's somebody else, one of my peers in the business saying, Fred, why did you tell my team not to prospect people, 20 people a day? I'm not saying that. If you can do that, that's great. Here's what's more important, that you prospect one person a day for 20 days. That's more important than trying to prospect 20 people in one day. And it seems like and then taking the next 19 days off. It seems like, just strictly from a number perspective, that it should be the same thing. It's not the same thing. You're just going to have to buy my story on this. I would rather see you prospect one person a day, every day for 20 days, than prospect 100 people in the next, 3 or 4 days. Because one, it's not sustainable. Two, you're going to lose a lot of people because you will not have the capacity for the follow-up, the second, third exposures, the plugging into the active engaged upline to provide the the social documentation through other people's testimonies. You're just not going to be able to do that. Okay, so it is easier to win the race if you are running every minute than being the sprinter who can just blow past everybody, but can only do it for a short period of time. I hope those analogies are helping. Now, 3 calendar months. And I'm talking about calendar months. In Zija, we use the 28-day, 4-week period and that sort of thing. Extrapolate, okay? Be a little flexible with the numbers. 3 months. The reason we focus on, a 30-day game plan times 3 months is because it allows you to keep putting in, the new freshman class to create the funnel. Let me see if I can do something here real quick. I'm going to do a quick screen share and see if maybe this will help a little bit more illustration-wise. Let's do a whiteboard, and there we go. All right, let's do something like this. Okay. This is a calendar, right? There's the first month, the second month, and the third month. And we're going to, again, kind of forget about the fact that we got, 4-week quarters. Let's see if I can do something else here. As you can tell, I didn't actually do this prepared. So this is the first month, and there's the first of the month, and there's the 30th of the month, and so on. In each month, we want to do, divide it into 4 weeks, right? We'll work a week at a time. That works out pretty good because in Zija calendar, we've got, we start on Saturday morning, we end on Friday night, so we got the 4 weeks. What you want to be doing on a daily basis, what if all you did was expose one person a day to our products and one person a day to our opportunity? At the end of 30 days, you would have prospected 30 customers and 30 distributors. Now, the law of averages is at the end of the month, you're going to have a few customers and you're going to have a few distributors. How many will you have? Depends upon your law of average. I don't know. You might have, if it's 1 in 10, you might have 3 customers and 3 distributors. Now, what you do with that that's called the freshman class. The people that you have brought in that first week, the term we use is the freshman class. Now, you get them in, get them trained, get them going. And they're going to move in to the second month, as sophomores, right? And they're going to have a little bit of independence because you did your job in the first month. Now, here we're going to do the same thing, on a weekly basis. We're going to do our prospecting, and our goal is simply to get, 1 customer, maybe 1 distributor by the end of the month. That's our freshman class. Now, what's really interesting is during this month, based on our activity, we're going to have the same results we had the first month. However, it's going to be multiplied times the activities of our freshman class. They moved into the second, month with a certain amount of independence and activity. In month 3, we're going to do the same thing we did the first time around. Each week, let's focus on getting just 1 customer. And maybe 1 distributor, or maybe you're only getting, 1 distributor every other week. Doesn't make any difference, because by the end of the month, you will have here, based on your personal efforts, the same results you got the first month. But the freshman class moved into the sophomores here. Now they're juniors, so you're going to have all of the results that you do, plus all the results of your freshman class that moved here. And remember, the people that came in this month, in month 2, they're sophomores now, so you could actually have 4 times the results. I hope you were tracking with that. Let's go ahead and stop the share here. Whoops. Let's do this whiteboard. There we go. There, stop share. So it's a compounding effect. But what's exciting about that is it's not just adding, it is multiplying. If you were to focus on a sustainable level of activity, talk to one person a day about your product, talk to one person a day about your income opportunity, you would create over the 90 days more than just the results of 1 day times 90. It could be literally 3 or 4 or 5 times that momentum. So the new freshman class, having a new group of people each month that can move into the next month somewhat independent of you. And here's what's going to be very, very helpful to you. Don't be the person that leads everything, okay? Plug them into other people, other resources, other support tools. You know, Thursday night business presentation that myself and some of the other leaders do. Saturday morning new distributor training. Plug them into that. Plug them into, you know, Pat Anderson's Wednesday night. They are predominantly product focused calls. You'll see some business building calls involved in there. You'll see leadership training that she does as part of her Wednesday nights. That has really been evolving over the last several months. Plug them in to resources that they can then use, learn from, grow, and then plug their people into, and it's all independent of you. I mean, one of the highest levels of understanding in our profession is real leadership is transferred to others. Okay, one of the things that's been incredibly powerful in my Zija business is I'm the weak link in the business. My business has, you know, hundreds and hundreds of people that are, you know, bronze, silver, gold, you know, dozens and dozens of people that are higher level leaderships, you know, white gold, you know, platinum, emerald, and so on. And by and large, most of those people are way better than I am. They make me look really good. But the reason is because I have chosen not to be that guy. I don't need to be the, you know, the superstar that everybody sees. Frankly, if you have to pick rich or famous, which is going to be better for you in the long run? I'm going to tell you rich, because you can do anything you want with the money. When you're famous, it's hard to go places, right? And have people see you, you know, and stop you. You know, I would never want to be a movie star. Wouldn't that be a disaster? Okay, so we're talking about what it is, the 90-day game plan. And again, go to the YouTube channel, my YouTube channel, click on the playlist. I've got a 10-minute video on the, you know, on the elements of a 90-day game plan. Now let's talk about why. This is really important to understand, folks. And here again, you're probably just going to have to buy my story, okay? What is about to happen in Zija International is incredibly unique, okay? This has only happened a few times before in the, you know, what, 70 years of network marketing. Network marketing goes back to the, you know, late 50s and early 60s. So we're talking, you know, a long time. And over that period of time, there have been lots of companies that have come and gone. I mean, incredible numbers of companies that have come and gone. And today, in today's network marketing world, there's only about a dozen companies, long-term companies, that are achieving $1 billion a year in sales. Okay, there's probably I'd say in the neighborhood of maybe 25, 30 long-term companies, you know, legacy companies that have been in business over 20 years, Companies that have, created $1 billion in cumulative sales continue to operate at the multiple hundreds of millions of dollars a year. The career opportunity companies, couple of dozen, maybe 30. That's it. Of the tens upon tens of thousands of companies that have come and gone, only about a dozen, maybe 30. But in that group, there's only about 10 or 12 today that represent that legacy company that has achieved the $1 billion a year or more level of sales. That is so rare. It's almost kind of like being struck by lightning twice on a Tuesday before noon. Okay, that's how rare that is. Zege International is poised to become one of those maybe dozen legacy companies that's at $1 billion a year or more in sales. And I could spend, the entire broadcast and another hour explaining to you why that is. For right now, for time, just buy my story, okay? I'm going to just tell you right now, I wouldn't be here if that wasn't the case. David Moses wouldn't be here if that wasn't the case. All of our top field leaders wouldn't be here if that was not the case, okay? Now, if you understand that significance, you have an opportunity to be part of something that the world will be talking about 10, 20, 30 years from now. You have, and more importantly, you have an opportunity to be in at the beginning of that, ahead of the wave, ahead of the masses. And the next 90 days will set up your business for 2020. 2020 is going to be the launch year of Zege International, of what it will become. And you have an opportunity over the next 90 days to position yourself at the beginning of the launch, already in full momentum. The multi-level calendar, and for those of you who've been around for a while, you've heard me talk about this many, many times over the years. There's a natural ebb and flow of volume that surrounds the calendar year and the network marketing profession. And every industry has it. I mean, retail sales. I heard recently that the typical retail business, store, mall, boutique in the shopping center, online, sales people, 45%, as much as 50% of their entire year's volume can be done in the last 90 days of the year. Why? It's the holidays. That's just the way it is. Now, in network marketing, we have certain ebbs and flows. The first quarter of the year tends to be the most productive quarter of the year. And it really has more to do with psychology than anything else. We get to the beginning of the year, people do their New Year's resolutions. I'm going to get fit this year. I'm going to lose weight. We're going to get our finances in order. We're going to get out of debt. We're not going to live the way we did last year. There's this psychological, awakening, renewal that comes at the first of the year, and people engage. Now, in the gym industry, the health club industry, people know that's the time to hit people because they're making the New Year's resolutions. Get them in right now. We also know by the end of the first quarter, by the beginning of April 1st, most people's gym memberships have become, obsolete. They're not going to the gym anymore. But let's get them in while they're excited. That first quarter of the year will be, and historically has always been, the most productive time in the network marketing calendar. Here's the problem. Most people wait until the first of the year to establish momentum. And you just put in your notes something I said that's critically important to keep in mind. It takes 90 days to establish momentum in your business, to get that compounding effect going, to get that that an organization that can start doubling and tripling without your direct involvement. Something that that I've heard before regarding momentum. In the beginning, expect it to take 10 parts of energy to create 1 part of momentum in the beginning. So you're going to have to put in a lot more fuel than you're necessarily getting back in terms of return performance. But if you establish momentum and then you advance momentum, again, putting in more energy than you're actually getting back in terms of return, you will eventually go into that 3rd stage of momentum, which is you can sustain high-level momentum with minimal energy. Would you like the opportunity to have high-level production and be able to sustain 10 parts of momentum with 1 part of energy? That's why we go through this process. But keep in mind, it takes 90 days to establish momentum in your business, to get the traction you're looking for. And most people wait until the beginning of the year. There's a really big problem, okay? That is the final quarter of the year, and in reality, it starts about now, mid to end of September. Will roll through till about, the beginning of Christmas. But that 90-day period of time, that's a period of time when most people are distracted by holidays, okay? You've got, Halloween. When did Halloween become such a big holiday? I mean, I remember Halloween when I was a kid. It was a big deal, but it was only a day, maybe 2 days in advance, get your costume together and cut the pumpkin, right? Now, I mean, the Halloween stores are already up in the mall. But, Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas, most people are going to sleep and they're using the excuse of the holidays. Back when I used to have a job, and it's been decades since I had a job, but I remember having a job, they gave me 0 days off for Halloween. They gave me 1 day off for Thanksgiving and 1 day off for Christmas. That's it. And actually, when I drove trucks, I didn't always get that off. I remember one Thanksgiving, I was going to have to make a run, and I brought Mom with me. I gave her the option. I said, Mom, you're going to be here on your own. This is many years ago. I won't be around for Thanksgiving because I'm going to have to work, but would you like to come with me? She came with me. We had Thanksgiving dinner at the Wild Horse Cafe in King City. Okay. A little tidbit for you guys. So anyway, if you focus on establishing momentum in your business in the final quarter of the year, you will walk into the beginning of 2020, the most important year in Zija history, with full-blown momentum. And mark my words, if you simply sustain your effort, that's why it's so important to have a daily method of operation that is sustainable. If you sustain your effort, you can predict what your income will be in the last quarter of 2020 based on the first quarter. You will literally double, triple, or quadruple it. So if you can make $1,000 a month, $3,000 in your first quarter of 2020, you can expect to make $10,000 in the last quarter. If you're doing $1,000 a week in income in the first quarter, expect to make a ton of money in the last quarter. That is highly predictable because it's based upon a simple formulation, a simple methodology. Now, let me get to the last topic I have here, and I apologize. I've probably been a little bit too focused on the first parts. Here's the how part. We've got what is a 90-day game plan. We've talked about why it's so important. Here's the how part. And the how part is so simple. It's already been put into place. This is one of the most exciting things to me, and why I'm so confident that the things that I am predicting are going to come to pass in terms of the growth of Zija. Has everything to do with, I learned a long time ago, you can judge the future from the past. Okay? If you do not know the past, you have no clue what's going to happen in the future. However, you can very accurately predict the future based upon the past. Zija International, for the 12 years that I've been involved now, has been in evolution. Okay, we've evolved in terms of our our product lines and product offerings. We've evolved in terms of our compensation and pay plans. We have evolved most recently in terms of the executive corporate leadership. We've maintained the Ken Brailsford story. Ken Brailsford's philosophy has been the guiding, light of our company since the beginning. But most recently, we've had a major change in the executive, if you will, the day-to-day leadership of the company with Jeremy Redd and his team. And the things that they have accomplished in such a very short time are nothing less than miraculous. I'm talking about, parting the Red Sea level of miraculous. And they've just gotten started. And if you know the past, you can judge the future. Jeremy Redd and his team have been responsible for taking two companies, not much different than where Zija is today, and turning them into billion-dollar-a-year businesses. What are the chances that after doing it twice, they can do it again? I say pretty good. They have put together the 3 and Free program to onboard brand new distributors, and then the Premier 20 and Elite 40 programs to sustain that growth. This is what I'm going to do here, and I apologize. I'll go into more in depth on this, next Saturday, because I do want to be able to have some time available for questions and that sort of thing. But I want you to kind of become, immersed in this program. I'm going to share my screen here. This is part of your, this is in the impact reward statement, our compensation plan. Become immersed in this, okay? Become so familiar with this, it's kind of like a reflex. You're a brand new person, and let me tell you, network marketing is changing. We're moving into a whole new, evolution of the profession, and unless you embrace the change, you're going to be left behind. Here's what the change is. Everybody can do what we do because we've got a path for them. You're a brand new person, and I don't care whether they're starting with one of the bundles themselves, or maybe they're a little bit more focused and they understand the concept of needing to have product to sample out, and maybe they start with the Builder Plus system or maybe a Builder Pro system. That's a smart money to me. I mean, that's called the fast track. But if somebody who's just simply starting, as a consumer, and you give them a path to be able to create income to support not only the use of their products for free, but more products, because the longer they look at Zija's product line, the more they realize, well, I'd like to try this, I'd like to have that, I'd like to have this, I'd like to have several of my family members on the nutrition program or the sports nutrition or whatever. Embrace this, okay? This is critical. If you simply do this, is simply establish a game plan for your brand new person in their first 3 months to get 3 people. Those 3 people in the first 3 months of a new distributor, not for us established, but for the new distributor, they've got a special benefit. They simply enroll 3 people with a bundle, 150 PV order, and they're going to receive their next month's auto ship, their next month's 150 PV for free. 3 and free. Now, if they do that 3 months in a row, they are set up for growth. I actually did some numbers here. Okay, so we have the 3 and free. I'm going to dump this in just a second. Once they've gone through those 3 months of getting 3 people, I want you to think about that. That's 9 total people on the product. That's it in 90 days. 9 people. They have created so much momentum in their business that they can then pop right into the Premier 20 and Elite 40 and continue to have the free auto ship, and then even move into the extra $250 bonus. Let me get rid of this here real quick. I put some numbers together. If they simply do that, get 3 new enrollments with one of the bundle packages, and they do that for 3 months in a row, they're going to be a Builder 500 in their second month. Just do the math. Okay, 3 people, 2 on one side and 1 on the other. In the second month, do it again, but you're going to have the auto ships of the previous people. That's sufficient volume to put them almost to Builder 500. It's 450 PV. What are the chances that between the 3 people your new guy enrolled last month and the 3 people that you enroll, that they're going to enroll this month, what are the chances that one of those, that there's going to be one person in that group that buys a bundle? That's all it takes to push them over into Builder 500. In the third month, they're going to have continuing, monthly reorder of the 150 PV from the 3 in the first month, 6 in the second month. You've added some more people. They're Builder 1000. The math is there. The plan is there. It's simply, and let me kind of recap real quick, and then I will open up for whatever questions that you might have. 90-day game plan. It's a 1-day game plan times 90. Talk to 1 person a day, 1, about our products. Talk to 1 person a day about, our income opportunity, and do that every day. And at the end of the month, you're going to have a few customers and a few distributors. Take those distributors from month 1. They're their freshman class. Get them in, get them trained, get them going, plugged into the systems that are available to keep them involved, engaged, and learning and growing. They'll be somewhat autonomous of you in the second month as you continue to do the same thing. That compounding effect will be 3, 4, 5 times in the third month. The reason why now is so important, this 90 days. I just had a conversation with David Moses driving down the hill from the gym yesterday. He was echoing this. The next 90 days are everything to set up the first quarter of 2020. 2020 is the launch year for the run of ZJet to $1 billion a year. I cannot overstress how significant the timing is. And then if you simply follow that plan that's been put in place, don't modify what you're doing per se. Some of you focus on bringing in business builders. Fine, keep doing that. Some of you focus on bringing in customers. Fine, keep doing that. But be very clear on this. The path is simple. 3 in a new person, new distributors first month, 3 and their personal supply products is free. Do that 3 months in a row. The compounding effect will set them up to automatically be the Premier 20 in month 4. Automatically. It's almost impossible for it not to happen. But where does it start? Starts with you. Make that commitment. 1-day game plan times 90 days. So hopefully that was helpful, folks. I'm going to pop open the chat window here. If you've got a question or anything that I can help with here in the time that we've got, please let me put it in there, and let's see what we got here. Good morning, good day. I've never been bored with Richard Ellison says, I've never been bored with your valuable information. Oh, Richard, have I told you you're my favorite? Thank you, Richard. That's very, very kind. I appreciate that. Let's see. I love the question. Allow me to give my husband peace of mind because I can help provide for. Wow, AJ, good for you. Why wouldn't you want to be successful? AJ says, I love that question. It's allowed me to give my husband peace of mind because I can help provide for our family despite how sick I may be, and I will always have an income as long as I'm doing the deal. AJ is one of our most inspirational distributors, let me tell you. Share the training tools, don't be the tool. Ooh, did you see what Lorraine said? Share the training tools, don't be the tool. You know, and I get it. You know, it's kind of cool for people to come to you and you've got all the answers and you've got all the phrases and that sort of thing. It's kind of cool, but no money in it. Okay, there's no money in it. So share the wealth. Plug them into everything you can. This is from AJ. Plug them in to everything you can. Always answer questions with use of tools. What's the 90-day game plan I hear people talk about? My response, that's a great question. Go to fredholmes.com or YouTube channel and watch the video. See, there you go, folks. I created those videos, and again, there's nothing particularly special about them, you know, other than the content. I did that self-serving because this was information that I was imparting to people that I needed to find a way to get it into more people's hands with less of my time. So if you go watch those videos, those last three, they were all kind of cut right after together, and they were done before the sun came up. So, which is not uncommon. You know, I got to get a lot done before mom wakes up. But you can kind of see the changes in the lighting and that sort of thing. So nothing particularly special about them, but they're tools. It's the content that's that's important. Lorene, thank you. That means more to me than you might know. Okay, the real deal. It's very hard to find the real deal. Okay, and I want to be part of that that club. Folks, I don't see any additional questions. We've come to the end of our allotted time. Please, one more time, and I'll post this video on the YouTube channel here a little bit later. Gonna have a little brunch with mom right now. Spend our normal time together. Please take this serious. Okay, the next 90 days could change your life forever if you simply are willing to do the deal 1 hour a day. 1 hour a day. Whatever it is that you need to give up over the next 90 days, I will personally tell you it will never be as significant as the empowerment that you will have to change the lives of others, to create the life you desire for yourself. I look back on my life, you know, in my early 30s, I was driving 18-wheelers cross country, hoping, praying for a way, an answer to the challenge I had, which was to care for my older son as he hit school age. Because I was willing to do what I had to do then, a decade later, 15 years later, I was able to, 20 years later, I was able to do something that was incredibly important to me, but I had no idea back then that this would even be an issue. When I was able to not work for 6 years and help my my younger son raise my first grandchild. And then fast forward, you know, another half decade to be able to do something I always dreamed of having, which is an environment where my mother in her final years could stay in her own home, not be someplace where strangers cared for her. I was able to do that. And then the Zija business came along to augment that. And then, you know, 2.5 years ago, to have the ability to not do anything and still be able to focus on the most important thing, my mother. So I hope this has been helpful to you folks. Hope you had a good time. Hope you had as much fun as I did today. And next week, Pat Anderson, Wednesday night, Health Talks with Pat. That's go to clubmoringa.com. Wednesday nights, 9:30 p.m. Eastern. Thursday night, Biz Talks, the business presentation. That's at on my link, fredholmes.com/webinar. That's at 5:30 Pacific, 8:30 Eastern. And then we'll bring it right back again here on Saturday morning, new distributor training. Same bad channel, same bad time. Have a great rest of your weekend, folks, and have a little fun. All right, we'll see you. Bye-bye.